Have you ever contemplated the current state of our world and wondered, what happened? As we sit comfortably in our homes, a war rages on half a world away. A conflict that has claimed thousands of lives and continues to shape the geopolitical landscape. The Israel-Hamas war, a topic that echoes in our headlines and reverberates in our consciousness. A conflict that challenges our understanding of peace, security, and humanity. A war that begs the question, what happened? Today we delve into the recent events of the Israel-Hamas war that unfolded on October 28, 2023. The Israel Defense Forces, or IDF, have been escalating their ground operations in Gaza. This expansion is part of a larger strategy, designed to increase the urgency of warnings to civilians to relocate to safer territories. However, the consequences of these operations are far-reaching and often devastating. The International Committee of the Red Cross has called for an immediate de-escalation of hostilities. Their plea echoes the fears and concerns of civilians on the ground who are caught in the crossfire of this escalating conflict. This call for peace, however, seems to be falling on deaf ears. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has been clear about his objectives. He asserts that the goals of this stage of the war are to obliterate Hamas and secure the safe return of hostages taken earlier in the month. Yet, the expansion of ground operations has instilled fear in families who worry for their loved ones taken hostage. This fear is not limited to the borders of Israel and Gaza. It has resonated across the globe, sparking demonstrations in major cities such as New York and London. These protests, fueled by a sense of injustice and a demand for peace, have led to hundreds of arrests, indicating the global scale of this issue. Meanwhile, in Gaza, the loss of life continues to mount. Israeli airstrikes have resulted in the deaths of countless civilians. The intensity of these attacks has severed communication lines, leading to aid agencies losing contact with their staff on the ground. This lack of communication further complicates the already dire humanitarian crisis. Amidst this chaos, the sound of fighter jets and explosions have become a grim soundtrack to the lives of those living in Sderot and Ashkelon, near the Gaza border. The IDF's counterattacks have not only targeted Hamas but also struck Hezbollah targets in Lebanon, following rocket and missile fire into Israel. This additional layer of conflict stokes fears that Hezbollah could actively participate in the conflict, further destabilizing the region. As the ground operation intensifies, the human cost rises, and the outcry from the international community grows louder. Yet the end to this chronicle of conflict remains uncertain, as the cycle of aggression and retaliation continues unabated. The sounds of fighter jets and explosions have become a terrifying symphony in Sderot and Ashkelon, Israel, near the Gaza border. The Israel Defense Forces have not only expanded their operations on the ground but taken their fight to the skies, striking Hezbollah targets in Lebanon. This action sparks a separate conflict, one that brings with it a chilling echo of the past. A past where Israel and Hezbollah locked horns in a war of attrition, leaving a trail of devastation and despair. Yet this isn't just about the past. Fear is mounting over Hezbollah's possible involvement in the ongoing conflict with Hamas. The stakes are high and the tension is palpable. The echoes of explosions aren't just reverberating across the border towns of Israel, but also echoing the fear of a wider war. A war that could potentially engulf the region, pulling in multiple actors and escalating the crisis even further. As we navigate through these troubled times, it's clear that the echoes of these explosions are far from just noise. They're a stark reminder of the fragility of peace and the harrowing cost of war. The situation is teetering on the brink of a larger, more dangerous conflict. To sum up, the Israel-Hamas war is a complex and devastating situation. The Israel Defense Forces have intensified their operations in Gaza, sparking a wave of fear and uncertainty among the civilians. This escalation has been met with international calls for an immediate de-escalation and the delivery of humanitarian aid to the affected areas. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has made clear that the objectives are twofold: to destroy Hamas and to secure the return of hostages taken earlier this month. However, the human cost of these operations is staggering. Gazans mourn the loss of loved ones, while aid agencies struggle to maintain contact with their staff on the ground. This conflict has also stirred up international sentiment, leading to pro-Palestinian demonstrations across the globe. New York and London have been key sites of these protests, with the former seeing around 300 arrests. Further complicating the situation, the conflict has spilled over Israel's northern border. The IDF has launched strikes on Hezbollah targets in Lebanon, following rocket and missile fire from the country. This separate conflict raises fears of a broader regional engagement. On the technological front, we've seen a disruption in the accuracy of AI chatbots. Misinformation about the war situation has been disseminated, underscoring the importance of reliable sources during times of crisis. As we continue to watch the events unfold, we must ask ourselves, what can we do to foster peace in a world so prone to conflict?